Hey everybody, we're here at AOB Studios and we are going live. Sorry about that if you were on it just a second ago. We had a bit of a technical glitch. Maybe I will take a picture of this setup and put it in the comments afterwards because I have a bunch of lights next to me. I've got a camera right here in front of me that I'm actually going to use for the replay. Because my internet connection is not amazing, so you may see a little bit of pixelation on the actual live show. So I have one camera here that I'm going to upload for the replay, and then I have my phone that I'm using for the actual show. So there's just a whole bunch of stuff here, and we had that little bit of a technical glitch to start with. So sorry about that, but welcome. So glad you're here for the AOB live show. This is the third episode, but it is the first episode where we are actually AOB live, and that came from a couple of viewers last week who gave me that suggestion. I really like it. I can't say that it'll stay that way forever. Who knows? If another idea comes along that I fall in love with, I will take it. But by all means, this is 6,000 times better than AOB FBL live show. So hashtag AOB live. If you ever want to have any ideas for the show throughout the week or anything like that, you can contact me at AO Board Gaming on Twitter, because Twitter is weird and doesn't let me have art of board gaming, too many characters. So it's at AO Board Gaming, and you can always use that hashtag AOB live. All right, so this week we're going to talk about sorry about that. We're going to talk about what gamers wish their friends knew. But before we get into that really quick, just a quick recap. Last week, I previewed Widow's Walk on Friday, and there you can catch a video replay of that on my Facebook page. And then next week, well, we've got some more good things coming. So let's jump right into it. On Twitter today, I asked a bunch of you what you wish your friends knew about the gaming hobby, and what you wish your friends knew about gamers in general. And I wasn't surprised. I was kind of surprised, but I wasn't really surprised at the reaction. I tweeted it late last night, and I thought there would be a little bit of reaction, and then this morning I'd have to send it out again. But no, last night there was some reaction, and then this morning the chain just kept on going and going, and we got a lot of people chiming in on what gamers wish their friends knew about them, or what they wish they knew about the hobby in general. So I just kind of want to jump right into that discussion here to begin with. So, of course, more technical glitches. There we go. We're gonna survive on this show. I don't even know if you can read that anyway, but it looks cool to have it come up behind me, so that's why it's there. So first, Christopher Richter at boardgaming_FTW for the win says, AO Board Gaming, I wish that they would see how much gaming relaxes me, how I cut loose playing and having fun. I think this is absolutely a true statement. In fact, we're going to hit another one in a second where board gaming is kind of that thing that relaxes us and that we really enjoy doing. And people kind of get this impression that board gaming is this stodgy thing that we're just kind of sitting around the table and we don't ever have fun. Really, those people don't understand what happens around a board gaming table. You start getting inside jokes depending on the game you're playing. Yeah, there are some heavier Euros where there's not going to be a lot of action-packed moments necessarily, but there can be tension, there can be excitement, and I think of one of my favorite board gaming experiences of all times was a game of Shadows over Camelot, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a game where everybody's working together to beat the board, but there's a possibility that one person in the group is a traitor and is actually working for the board. So throughout the game, there were 3 or 4 of us, and we thought for sure nobody was a traitor. We were doing great. Actually, we were doing okay, and we got to the end of the game, and the last 3 rounds were just really tense as to whether or not we were going to lose or we were going to win. Black swords were coming out on the table, white swords were coming out on the table, and there was 3 turns where it was possible that we were going to lose if the wrong cards came out. And we won, and that tension and that just emotion, we just erupted at the table. We're like, yeah, we won! And then we're just like, yeah, as long as nobody was a traitor, we won! And my friend Jeremy just kind of smiled and flipped over his loyalty card and revealed to us that he was the traitor. And oh my goodness, you would have thought that our favorite team lost the Super Bowl. We went through that roller coaster of emotions from like the tension of the game building to all of a sudden we won, we thought we won, we were just all victorious. And then all but one of us, Jeremy, got the chance to be super thrilled, but the rest of us went immediately into that agony of defeat. We had spent probably an hour and a half on this game, and all of a sudden just like, all of that to lose to a piece of cardboard. So yeah, people that aren't gamers sometimes don't understand that the time that you have around that board gaming table can be an absolutely awesome, fantastic time. The Mile High Game Guys, there's a couple of them. They communicate back and forth with me every now and then. I was really happy to see them jump in. Adrian of the Mile High Game Guys, you can see them at MH Game Guys on Twitter, said, all that moaning and groaning is just an act. I'm actually having fun. Even when I lose, I'm just melodramatic. This is one I totally agree. I'm all about when I'm at the table. If I'm losing, you're gonna see me go, I can't believe I did that, or rolling dice. The dice are killing me today, and never am I serious about that. Never am I like really, really upset. Now I do want to make a caveat because there are people in our hobby, gamers that sometimes struggle with getting hold of their emotions. And so you have to be careful because somebody at the table might just be being melodramatic, and other people at the table might really be struggling, having a good time when they're losing. I encourage you, if you're one of those people that's struggling to have that good time when you're losing, remember, it's just a game. It's just a game. Have fun. Make sure the people at the table with you are having fun, because nothing is worse than having that person at the table that's being a party pooper for everybody else. So I love this. Yes, all that moaning and groaning that I'm doing at the table, I'm with you, Adrian. When I'm upset, when I'm losing, I'm really having a good time. I'm just glad to be playing games, and I really am just being melodramatic like yourself. Tony Hart, you can catch him on Twitter at TonyHart87. Tony Hart said, everything is complicated until you learn it. The board games for new players are simpler than the rules to football. And we're, of course, talking, if you're jumping in here in the middle, we're talking about what we wish our non-gamer friends understood about us as gamers. So Tony Hart's making a point here, and I love it. Games are simple. Any of you who have taught games to people understand that probably the first words out of your mouth as you're spreading everything out of the table, and everybody's eyes are kind of getting wide if they've never seen these types of games before. And the first words out of my mouth, and probably yours, are, hey guys, don't worry, it's not as complicated as it looks. And I think Tony Hart or somebody else jumped back in on this conversation because we're talking back and forth and said, yeah, the number of times I have to say, stay with me guys, stay with me. It's true. Games are not, the games we play, they're complicated. They're more complicated than Monopoly for sure, but they're not uber complicated. Once you invest just a little time and a little mental energy in them, they really aren't that hard. And so many people understand football, soccer, these various things, and it's because they've just invested a little bit of time and energy into understanding them. And the games we play in the gaming hobby, they might look more complicated than your typical Hasbro or Target game that you get at Target, but they're really not all that difficult once you just invest a little time in understanding how they work. And then, I'm probably gonna mispronounce this guy's name. I'm gonna say Angelus. We're gonna go with Angelus. You can contact him at Storyboard Web TV, And he said, since 3 out of 4 of my grandparents suffered degenerative mental illness, I use board games to keep mentally active. Definitely going down a little bit more serious of a tone. And again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about ways, things that we wish as gamers that our non-gamer friends understood about us. A lot of people think games are kind of a silly hobby, and that frustrates me. Games are not a silly hobby. They're not any more silly than golf or crafting or whatever hobby you have. Games are no more silly than any of those. And one of the things I like to encourage people to do is take a second And when it's your own hobby, it's very easy to say, oh, these are the positive 5, 6 things that I get out of my hobby, but your hobby over there, your hobby is silly because I don't understand it. Well, if you just take a couple minutes and ask yourself, what are some of the benefits of the hobby that they do? So let's say, for instance, they choose the hobby golf. Some of the things they might like about golf is it gets them out of the house and it gets them outside and enjoying the weather outside. It gets them a little bit of exercise. They get to have a good time with friends. Well, it's the same with board games. Board games offer you those positives as well. They offer you a chance to hang out with friends and things like that. But Angeles hits the nail on the head here. One of the great things about board games is they have that opportunity to keep you mentally sharp because they're making you solve problems. They're making you think outside of the box a little bit. And I really appreciated that he opened up here and expressed this. And I can understand that would be something that he would be concerned about because mental illness is nothing, degenerative mental illness is nothing to make light of, and just taking those chances, taking those opportunities, and even using a fun hobby like board gaming to keep that brain sharp and to keep mental acuity, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Up on the blog today, actually I just hit publish just before we went live. I actually have a full post of the 10 things that board gamers wish their friends knew about them. I'd love for you to take a look. Feel free to leave some comments in that section. It's meant to be kind of a lighthearted look at gaming, but at the same time, it's meant to be something that gamers look at it and go, haha, yeah, he gets me. But it's also meant to be something that you can share with your non-gamer friends to be like, hey, do you want to get me a little bit? Hey, check these out. One of the things that I mentioned in there that we didn't talk about here is that our games aren't super expensive compared to other hobbies. And that's one of the things that I get most often. I cannot believe you're willing to spend $70 on a board game. I can't believe you're willing to spend $80 on a board game. And yes, I'm willing to spend that money, but when you stop and think about it, if I play a $70 board game 7 times, I just got that down to $10 per play. You cannot go play a round of golf for $10. You can't, there's so many hobbies out there that you can't do for that cheap. I actually think board gaming is one of the lesser expensive hobbies out there. Now, if you're all in and you're buying every new game that's coming out and you're buying a bunch of games and never playing them, then you're going into a little bit of a collector mentality and it is going to cost you a little bit more. But as a hobby in general, this is a very affordable hobby that you can have a lot of fun and a lot of good times with. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Feel free to go to that post, artofboardgaming.com. There's a link right on the homepage to that post. And I'm really interested to have you join the conversation if you haven't already about what you wish your non-gamer friends knew about board gaming. You can hook up with me on Twitter at AOBoardGaming, on Facebook, well, you're here right now, but it's Art of Board Gaming, on Instagram at Art of Board Gaming, and you can feel free to send me an email. It's joseph@artofboardgaming.com. And be sure to stop by next week. Next week we're going to be doing episode 4, and it's going to be right here, same time, same place. If anything changes, I will let you know. But otherwise, right here, Facebook, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.